Hello, beautiful people. My name is Kelani de la Cruz, and I spent this past spring semester studying abroad in Taipei, Taiwan. I was studying Chinese and cross-strait relationships between China and Taiwan, and it was a great time. I learned so much. First of all, thank you for all of your support and for keeping up with my journey. I am now back in New York City. It's officially been 2 weeks since I came back from Taiwan, and I have been getting back on like my normal routine and like finding now I'm home, which is very interesting because I felt that I also made a home back in Taipei, Taiwan, and I definitely hope that I can go back to exactly the place that I was at. Today I want to share with you a little reflection based on my whole journey of being in Taiwan and studying abroad there. I want to start my reflection thing with a little vlog from my past 3 days, 2 nights in Taiwan, because I feel that those days are very significant in my analysis process and also just my return back to New York City. Firstly, I was really struggling during my last week because everything had gone so fast, but the last week was the fastest of them all, and all of a sudden I just wanted to stop. I just wanted to pause, and it was very hard to do so. Actually, throughout my time in Taiwan, from the minute I landed to my last day, everything was so fast, so much, so high energy. It was crazy. So actually vlogging, whether it was on videos or writing for FEA, was one of the ways that I was able to actually process everything that was going on, because doing things that helped me to rest was just going on walks or calling my friends and family. Even though it could help make me pause, it was still part of my journey and my leaving in Taiwan. So it was still hard. When I would go on walks, I would be I never noticed that building before. So it was always high energy still. And when I was talking to my friend, I was like, oh, I did this yesterday and this was cool, and this is what I'm learning. But everything was so fast, so it wasn't really a point in which I was analyzing. So on my last day, it was just so perfect, and working on my finals and just finalizing everything was amazing. So here's a little vlog, and then I'll tell you a bit more about everything that I learned in Taiwan. I just submitted my last final. Glory be to God. I submitted it, I sent it, and I emailed him. It's interesting because after this class, I will be using what I learned in this class to do my senior thesis next year, which is crazy to know that I'm graduating. But I feel prepared to move on and do my senior thesis, and this class helped me a lot. So I'm excited. My final paper is average, but the good thing is that I finished. So hello. Okay, so today's my last day, and I told myself that after I finish my essay, I was gonna buy a delicious cinnamon roll. It's not a cinnamon roll, but it looks like a cinnamon roll. So we're gonna get that now. We got the goods, and now we're gonna go and give these letters to some amazing people from my church. They're so God bless them, because I'm so happy that I was able to have a community that pushed me towards God. So we're gonna go do that. Oh no, it's raining. I mean drizzling. I should go back and get an umbrella. I didn't expect that when I came through the day market there would be so many people. I didn't even know it would be open, so I'm excited. Now I'm right in front of the first restaurant I had food at on my first day. The first food I ate ever in Taiwan, well, like after the plane. And I'm gonna go. And it's crazy because I remember that it was very hard for me because I thought that my Chinese was so good, but I couldn't order food. So my first meal in Taiwan. You know, okay, I'm nervous because I didn't know how to order, but we're gonna get better. Okay, so I'm stressed. I'm not stressed, but I'm like disappointed because I can't get a word out in Chinese. Like, I just stare at them, like, I don't even try, and it's killing me. So, I don't know what to do. So, I'm just like hoping I can develop over time. It's not gonna be easy. So now I'm here again. 你好，要牛肉面。牛肉面我们没有牛肉面，我们都是猪的。好，猪肉。Okay, so after I ate, I came to this place for bubble tea. So I'm gonna do that too right now. I'm just so excited, and I just give thanks to God because this is amazing. I asked him to give me the best one. So let's try, because usually when I choose my milk tea, like, it's not the best. Even if it's not the best, I'm just gonna enjoy it. So bye-bye. Okay, so as you can see, that was how I spent my last day in Taiwan, and it was just perfect, phenomenal. I'm very glad that I recorded it because I also recorded my first day, and so I can look back and see like everything that I did and how everything went. After I got off the plane and I got to my apartment, I was so excited. I called my mom. I showed her the apartment, which CET organized so beautifully, and I organized my things, and then I went outside. Only one of my roommates had like got into the apartment, so we were like, I think there was another person, but she wasn't there. The thing is, she went outside and I stayed organizing my things, and then she was like, oh yeah, I ate food and it was great. And then I went by myself too, and I wasn't looking for food. I was looking for a church because it is very important to me. And as I mentioned in one of my blogs, it was Lent when I got to Taiwan, and it was literally like the second day of Lent. So I was like, I have to find a church. So I looked on Google Google Maps, and I went and looked. First I went for a walk, and then I was like, okay, now let's look for the church. And then I looked for the church and I found it, and it was open and it was wonderful. So It was beautiful. Before I got to the church though, I was like, okay, I should eat something because I need to eat. I'm in Taiwan. And I saw this restaurant and I just went in and I thought that my Chinese was so good. So sad. I got out of there satisfied with the food, but very disappointed at myself. And I was like, why didn't I speak? I should have said something. Like I should have at least said I don't know, or like my Chinese is not good or something. But literally, we gave up after exchanging like 2 sentences, and that made me very sad. And then I think I didn't lose confidence in myself, but it was just like, oh. So as you can see in the video, I was very excited to go back to that same restaurant, and I only went to that restaurant twice, my first day and my last day. And I didn't want to go at the beginning because I was like, oh, I'm just like trying to prove something. But even if I was, that's okay. I just wanted to like have another experience at that restaurant, and I wanted to see my growth. And glory be to God, I did see it, and it was awesome. I laughed with the lady because I got there and I was like, I want beef, and she was like, we only have pork. And then I said mian instead of like rice, but she understood me, and we were able to understand each other, and it was perfect, and I'm really grateful for that, and I thank God for that experience, both the first one and the last one. I think one of the first things that I learned from being in Taiwan is drop your expectations. You might come from another country, might have been like the best student in your class, and then you get to another country or another environment. It doesn't have to be another country, and you just suddenly realize you are probably the least smart person in the room. And I discovered that like in my class I wasn't the brightest student, and that was very hard for me because in the United States at my college, even though I wasn't the brightest student, I was one of the most hardworking students, and I got good grades because I studied very hard. But even that in Taiwan, like I wasn't that person. Not because I didn't study, but because I found that my studying strategies weren't the best, and the system of like classes was not something that I was used to. So I had to like just reorganize my brain and try different things, talk with my roommates, talk with my classmates, and like in the end I think I really learned about studying a language, and I also learned about studying in different environments and what it means to be a student and a leader and a roommate and a classmate in a whole different country. And I think I won't forget that the next time that I go to another environment and I'm like, I'm so smart. No, I'm gonna be like, okay, let's see what I'm gonna learn today because there's so much to learn. Secondly, I learned that you are not always going to be like the leader, and that's okay. Like when you're in different places, you have different roles. And for me, throughout my whole journey in Taiwan, my role was being a student and learning every step of the ways and making so many mistakes. Because at my college, like I think on my third day being in Taiwan, I like cried to my academic, like the director at my program. I was like, oh, like before I met him, I was like, okay, I want to meet with him because I'm struggling with this. At my school, I was in positions in which I had to help students or even professors at like certain of my part-time jobs. And in Taiwan, I didn't have that. Like, I wasn't a leader of any sort. Like, I wasn't a resident assistant. I wasn't a language center assistant. I wasn't like I didn't have any jobs. Like in my school, I usually had like at least 2 jobs, and I don't think I've ever had 2 jobs. It's probably like more than two all of my previous semesters. And I also had some type of like leadership position. Like my first year I was in the student judiciary board where I got to like help make decisions to like discipline students when they made a mistakes, or like support students when something went wrong and then we had to like listen to whatever happened to them. Then my second year I became a resident assistant. Then I was at one of my jobs that I had been there for a year already. I became like one of like the leaders, teaching like students how we do our jobs. So I always had those types of positions, and I also had my friends that I could always talk to and that I could give advice to, or just like discuss everything that was happening. But going to Taiwan on my third day out, I didn't have that, and it was very hard for me because I think that in the past I took a lot of value from those positions. Being in Taiwan, I felt like I had no value because I was just a student. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a leadership position. I know I can say that, and I know it can be like, oh yeah, but you can be a leader in like many different ways, but that's not the point. The point is I didn't have any established formal leadership roles, and that was very hard for me because that had never happened to me. I was just, for the first time in my life, a student, and that was all that I needed to focus on. You know how like when you're growing up, your parents are like, all you need to do is study. I don't know why you're not doing good in school if all you need to do is study. And that was like, for me, that was like me, and I did not like that feeling of just being a student, which is crazy because that was one of the things that I was so excited about. I was like, okay, finally, I'm just gonna be a student. I'm not gonna have 3 jobs. I'm not gonna have one of my residents call me and be like, hey, this happened. Like, I was just a student. And when I talked to my director about it, he was like, I think you need to learn how to get help, because now you're the student. Now you're the one that's gonna call someone and be like, I need help. And it was just like, so those are like 2 of the things that I really, really learned while being in Taiwan. I'm not gonna talk more because this video is already very long, but I think those are 2 of the first things that I learned, and 2 of the most important things that I learned. So I'm very excited about everything that happened there. I think my Chinese definitely improved. I like my understanding of Taiwanese culture. I think in terms of language learning, I had a harder time improving, but I did notice an improvement. And the reason why I think I had a hard time improving was because I was so focused on learning how to study. But I do notice that I now speak more naturally, I think. I definitely speak more naturally. So I definitely think that I have an improvement, and I definitely want to go back to Taiwan. My program was completely worth it, and I'm very excited I got to go. Next, I will be going back to my university this August. I am very excited because it's my last year, which is crazy. As I said in the video, my school requires a senior thesis, and so it's a whole year thesis that you work on for a whole year. And so I'll be working on my senior thesis. Thankfully, I think the class that I took will help me guide me to choose a very good topic and create a very good question for my research. So I'm gonna be doing that, and as of now, I'm not sure what I want to do for after grad school. I definitely know that I will be going to graduate school. I will be going to grad school to get a master's or a PhD on international education, which is one of the reasons I wanted to study abroad, because I love international education. I don't know if I want to take a break because I do want to go back to Taiwan or visit China, but I definitely want to go to Taiwan for more than 3 months and just continue to improve my Chinese language skills, and also just get some more experience in regards to their education system, and then do grad school. But I don't know which one will come first. Will I go to Taiwan first? Will I go to grad school first? I'm not sure. That is something that I will figure out this summer. I have a lot to think about. I have a lot to register and a lot to analyze, and I'm very excited for it all. I'm like, wow, another stage of my life, and I'm very excited. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for your support. Bye bye.